One of the biggest downfalls of the internet is that
Hello everyone and welcome to Tinfoil Saturday. How's everyone doing? Hoping your weekend's going well so far. I have some crackpots for us to take a look at today. Should be fun. I also decided on what the tip goal is. The tip goal is if we get to the tip goal for April 20th, which is 420 this year, we will do a double long 420 tinfoil stream. I found out that 420 falls on a Sunday this year. So I figure, normally we would do like a 3-hour stream. If we end up doing this tip goal before then, we will do a 6-hour stream, and every time we get something that's a bingo space, it will force me to take a hit of my vape, because it's a 420 stream. Thematic. That's it, that's the tip goal. So that's cool. Medicated person, thanks for 34 months. Thank you very much. Lilac Rosenberg with a TikTok we'll get to in a sec. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for 34 months at tier 2. Also, 420 is Easter. Based. That is this year, isn't it? 420 is Easter. That's funny. That's funny when that happens. I don't celebrate Easter, so that'll work for me. Will Sobsit T Strawman visit? I bet he wants to get high. I would bet that y'all could convince me to pull out the puppet. Especially if I was inebriated. So I would put money on that. Anyway, how much is the tip goal in total? 1,000. We're at 597 right now. So, yeah. Wait, Hannah takes pot? You know, on occasion. I just don't make it a part of my streams, generally, because I think that's usually cringe. But once a year on 420, I allow myself to be a little cringe. And, do that with you guys. What's in those chocolate bunnies? Oh my god, I have to get one of those chocolate bunnies to eat on that stream. Those things are so good, even when you're sober. The command isn't working for you? Hold on. I might have to turn the bot on and off. Sometimes it shuts itself off. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to turn on the bingo card while I turn the bot on, because it'll be on screen and I don't want you to see it. I have to log in or anything. We are playing bingo today, so once I get the bot working again, you can get your bingo cards ready. It's weird, it said it was on. Here, I'll turn it off and back on again. Hopefully that'll work. Try it again. There we go. Good bot. Alright, so let's take a look at this TikTok that was sent to us by Lilac Rosenberg, and then we will do the stream. Should be good. Didn't Hitler die on 420? No, opposite. He was born on 420. It's Hitler's birthday. Oh, let me turn this music off too. Alright, let's take a look at this TikTok.
One of the biggest downfalls of the internet is that it has allowed the town idiots to congregate. Okay, before, if you were like, hey, the moon's cheese, everyone would be like, shut the fuck up. And then that was it. But now, you could say the moon is cheese, and you have a podcast and a Facebook group with a bunch of other idiots who agree. That's it. Stay with me now, okay? Because before, if you were in like a little town...
10 days later on 4/30, did they celebrate his birthday in the bunker? That's hilarious. Get fucked, Hitler. Oh, that is really loud, isn't it, for you guys especially? Let me turn that down.
Say your name was Jimmy, right? And Jimmy was like, I think the moon is cheese, the earth is flat, and everybody but me is a lizard, right? Everyone would be like, Jimmy's out of his fucking mind. Don't talk to Jimmy. He's lost his marbles. God bless his soul. That was it. Because he couldn't talk to anybody else. It was just his little town. He couldn't go anywhere else. He couldn't discuss with anybody about it. But now, Jimmy got on the internet, and Todd from Omaha also thinks the moon is cheese, and now they have a podcast together. That's my theory. Because everybody's been asking, right? Everybody's like, when did everybody get so stupid? What happened to context clues? No. They've always been there, but it's only supposed to be like a few in an area. You know, like it's only supposed to be a couple of them here, a couple of them over there. They weren't supposed to meet.
Pretty accurate. Alright, let's see what we can get into, shall we? Oh, what did I want to start with today? We do have Chris, and Chris had some kind of sad stuff. Do I want to start with Chris? We'll start with Chris.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 3:27:25. How old's the sun?
Don't know off the top of my head.
Well, according to our scientists,
Hey, Halloween Town.
the sun is about 4.5
Yep, Flat Earth and records in car on the bingo card.
billion years old. Billion.
Travis says, hey, all, made it for a live. New craft has been fun. Hannah, what if I sent you a wooden butterfly? I would appreciate it. Real butterflies creep me out. Images of them do not.
That's with a B. Okay? Billion. Not million. Billion. Okay. As long as we have that clear. Right? Good. Now, the sun was formed from gas. Because it's not a rock. You have to understand this, right?
Gotta understand this first about the sun, okay? Not a rock. Not a rock. That's what I like to start with any object I'm learning about, is step one. Is it a rock? No. And then I move to the next spot on the flow chart. Is it bigger than a bread box?
Okay, it was formed by...
Guess that depends on the size of the bread box, but probably in this case the sun is bigger than a bread box.
by gas. That's right. In a vacuum.
Hey, drops a lot with $100 tip says, here's to blazing it, Hannah. Thank you, and that gets us closer to our 420 Tinfoil XL stream. Thank you.
I don't understand that, because gas really doesn't work in a vacuum, does it? But in this case, it does.
Wait, what doesn't work in a vacuum?
Right. In a vacuum. I don't understand that, because gas really doesn't work in a vacuum, does it?
If it's gaseous, then by definition, it's not part of the vacuum. right? It's a gas. The sun is the gas. Like, our planet is in a vacuum, but the planet's not a vacuum. The ball of gas that is the sun doing, like, nuclear fission constantly, that's not the vacuum, but it resides in a vacuum, yes, and it can exist there perfectly fine. Evidenced by the fact that it does that right now.
But in this case, it does.
What do you do with Roger, who can't get past step 1? Rock, when the answer is always yes. He's defective. He's not allowed to use the chart.
In this universe that we live in, it does.
Ooh, a bread box bigger than the sun would basically be a Dyson sphere. Did we invent the Dyson bread box? That'd be pretty good. Cooler than a sphere anyway, because you can, like, open it from the side in case you want to get some sunlight.
Defies the laws of physics. Back to the sun. So the sun is formed by gas, and it's twirling around, causes friction in the middle, right? Right. And it keeps going and going and going, and then it starts to form this nuclear fusion that is just absolutely incredible, because it's because of whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and explain this. He's not even here. What's the point? Lennon Cat says it's the first thing they teach in medical school. 1, the patient is not a rock. Step 2, the patient is mostly not gas. Then you just narrow it down one at a time until you conclude they're a human being. At this point, the patient is probably dead, and the problem resolved itself. Freyline says, not bigger than the bread box that orbits Sirius. Prove to me it doesn't exist. A furnace that's never ending. Never needs any fuel. It just burns and burns and burns. That's right. You know, why can't the scientists figure out how to do that? I'd love to have that in my fireplace.
Does he think it's burning, like, in the combustion sense? Does he think the sun is on fire? Like, it's on fire?
That would be just fantastic, wouldn't it? Just have this endless fire in your fireplace. You never have to put any fuel in.
Oh my god, he thinks the sun is fire. Oh no, he's a Bronze Age bus driver. That's a shame.
Or anything. Is just these stuff. Oh, you know, I do have one of those. Mine's an electric one. That's right. I don't have to. Oh, well, it does. Yeah, you need electricity to have that go. So no, that wouldn't work either. Okay, so and on top of that, guys, they estimate that this is good. The sun is going, before its supernovas, of course, is going to survive another 15 billion years. Don't worry, it'll eat all the inner planets and all this other good stuff that they make up and keep you confused and feel like you're this little insignificant speck on the spinning wet ball in space, going along and traveling at all these miles per hour. But don't worry, it's 15 billion years. You won't be around to see it. Don't worry.
Least incurious American male. I realized in my head that Chris is my median conspiracy theorist. Like, if in my head I'm like, what would a conspiracy theorist think? I kind of mentally go to Chris. Chris is my median conspiracy theorist. He's my control group. Kind of like how Chuck Schumer has his imaginary in his head working class couple, whatever their name is. Halloween Town with a 3-stream streak says, if anyone could, please keep us in the upstate South Carolina in your thoughts as we're dealing with wildfire. Stay safe out there. That is scary. He's also my preferred intro appetizer. It's true. He is. Fennec Kagami says, Chris, the sun isn't gas, it's plasma, which is different. The molecules are being smashed together by its own gravity, causing nuclear fusion, causing so much heat that it becomes plasma, which is like fire in appearance, but different in physics. Lightning is also plasma. It fuels itself. When it runs out, it decays.
So you don't need any fuel for the sun at all. It's just this endless furnace that is just burning all the time.
The sun is a mass of incandescent gas in a giant nuclear furnace that converts some hydrogen to helium at millions of degrees. They might be giants, Chris. Look it up.
But nobody questions that, though. You know why? Because you were taught as a child how the sun was formed. You might not...
Yeah, Amber, the Baileys, but they used to be the O'Reillys, but the O'Reillys was, quote, too ethnic. Anyway.
Remember, but you were. And you went with that idea, and you dreamed with that idea, and you believed that idea, and you became part of that idea. It's part of you. This lie is part of you. It's part of your reality. It's part of your personality. It's probably the best way to describe it. And you know how the Earth was made? Well, actually, we could talk about the moon, but I'm so fascinated with the Earth because the Earth is actually a rock. That's right. Over billions of years, the rocks decided to collect together. They were never flung
Didn't decide. They were drawn together by their gravitational pull.
apart. Because the bigger the rock out there, the more gravity it attracts. That's right. You see, gravity isn't always the inner core of a planet. It also just could be a big object in space.
Everything has gravitational pull. It's literally just like a thing matter does. It's a property of matter is that it has a gravitational attraction to other mass. All mass attracts other mass. You just tend not to notice it because usually it's minuscule, right? It's relative to the mass of the object. So the Earth, being quite massive relative to us, exerts a quite strong gravitational pull on objects near it, whereas you or I are quite small relative to everything else around us, especially the Earth, so it's not noticeable the effect that we have or other objects around us have gravitationally. It's all overshadowed by the Earth. Kagami says, also, Chris, the sun has oxygen. The fusion makes oxygen. It's where all oxygen on Earth comes from.
So when is the tipping point for gravity? That's what I'd like to know. Why are the meteors out there don't have like other small meteors? Are they too small? Is it a quarter of a mile? A mile? 5 miles?
Once again, if he wanted to learn this, he could. This is all stuff I would imagine you learn in like astrophysics. That's the whole point, is to be able to understand, like, the dynamics of these things, how they affect each other. Like, what? There's a whole field of study about this. There's people whose whole job is tracking objects in space.
When does gravity actually take place without actually having a molten core that's creating this gravity?
Ah! Ah! Does Chris think lava creates gravity? Does he think that the reason the Earth has gravity is because of the molten core? He's been told that the center of Earth's gravity is its core, so he assumes that means that the core is the source of the gravity. Oh no! Because that's where the center of gravity is. He thinks it means that's where the gravity is coming from. Ah! Oh, you're right. He's probably also conflating gravity with the magnetosphere thing, where it's the, churning of that, like, iron-heavy core that creates the magnetosphere. He could be thinking of that as well. Oh, no. Normer Gamer Gal, thanks for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs. I appreciate it so much. They are still on, by the way, if you're on Twitch. 35% off gift subs right now. So that's a good deal if you want to help support the stream. Thank you very much, Normal Gamer Gal.
Okay, when does that take place? I guess that's magical, right? Magic. That's right, it's magic. That's why...
Not magic. It's definable mathematically.
They call Walt Disney magic. Because this is bullshit. The physics don't work on it.
Yes, it does. What do you mean? Show me your math. You don't have any math. You're just thinking in your car and you think that's a substitute for science.
You can't take two rocks together, put them in a vacuum somewhere, and then all of a sudden they magically start to collect and spin.
They do. That's literally what things do in space. Bittergrin, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. And kicking off almost a hype train.
And now the gravitational pull comes along and this pulls other rocks in and then forms a fucking planet and an inner core inside there. That's magic land. That's right. That's imaginary land, shall we say. You know what's imaginary? Some scientists believe that the moon, that's right, was created from Earth. That's right. And this one, I love it.
I don't even think that's a some scientist thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I was under the impression that the understanding that the moon came out of a collision with the Earth and a big chunk of it came off. I thought that was just like the current understanding of it. I could be wrong. Emisaur, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs, kicking off a hype train, and MF Baby Cakes, thanks for gifting a sub. 91% to level 5 already. Thank you everyone for your incredible generosity with the gift subs. Seriously, helps a ton, you have no idea. Thank you.
This is perfect. An asteroid must have hit Earth many billions of years ago while it was in its molten state. You know, why not? You know, gravity's form is that there's a big molt. It's like a miniature sun or something like that, and it spews out this lava stuff out into space, just not too far away, just enough so the Earth it's in the Earth's Goldilocks, just like we're in the Goldilocks zone of the sun. Not too far away, not too close. You know, just that perfect little area where it'll just sit there for billions of years and give us this beautiful light out there.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. I mean, I guess, what is it called? Is it the anthropic principle? The idea that, like, it's not so much that we're lucky, it's that the worlds where there aren't, you know, environments sustainable for life, or life can't sustain itself, there's no one there to think they're unlucky. So kind of by definition, if you're on a planet where life is sustainable, you're gonna notice if it's sentient life. You know what I mean? I think that's called the anthropic principle. M. Scheffler with 100 bits says, I'm helping. Thank you very much.
So that's how the Earth was formed. I mean, the moon was formed from the Earth over billions of years. It just was the molten core of the Earth, I guess, right? And it has gravity too.
This hole was made for me.
But it doesn't have a molten core. You know, when I was in Fantasyland, I remember when I used to think the moon was hollow. That's what I used to think.
I like that he thinks that's a crackpot theory now.
I used to think that Phoebos, Mars's moon, was a spaceship. You remember that bullshit? Yeah, that's right. Oh, that was so much fun. So much fun to live in imaginary land, but now reality hits and none of that exists. Kind of sucks. There is no Star Wars, there never will be. You will never travel in space. You will never go anywhere except being told fictional stories of bullshit. So that's the Earth and the moon. Okay, now get this. This is a kicker. I love this. This is my favorite part. After all of these years, we're alive to see it. And I'll tell you, this is an amazing time for you to be alive, because the sun and the moon look like they're the same size, but yet the sun is 400 times larger. You see what kind of an imaginary land that
It's not imaginary, it's rare, but we happen to live on a planet where that's the case. The angular size of the moon and the sun are the same, even though their actual size is quite different because their distance happens to be the same ratio of their size difference. Rare, but it's very cool. Normal Gamer Gal with 100 bits says, I can't stay because my friend's health is giving her paranoid delusions, and this hits a bit close to home. Not saying for sympathy as much as a reminder to not take your brains for granted. We think it's a lot stronger than it is, but paranoia and disassociation can happen to the best of us. Very true. Very, very true. I hope your friend's gonna be okay.
People are in, and it's very difficult for them to break out of it. Very difficult. They have a tough time breaking out of this to face reality that space doesn't exist, and once you see this, there's no way of
30
it ever
seconds on the
going
hype
away.
train.
I mean,
So,
because you finally learn why this is a lie. You finally learn why they have to put this on. And all they need to do is just once in a while blast a rocket off. Oh, that's right, space exists. They just blasted a rocket off. Did you see that? That's right. They're going to space. That's right. Can you prove to me that's going to space? No.
I would agree that no one could prove to you that it's going to space, but not for lack of evidence. I would say it's lack of a receptive listener. Can't show any evidence to Chris because evidence isn't what's convinced him. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub and saving the hype train 11% to level 6.
No, what I see is it turning and crash landing in some ocean out there.
If space doesn't exist, what's out there? He thinks it's like a planetarium, basically. He thinks we live in an environment with a dome, and that the stars and the sun are like lights in the dome. Kind of imagine like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Truman Show. Kind of lived in like a dome situation. Of course, he believes the dome is much larger than on the Truman Show, but same principle, more or less.
That's what I see. I don't see anything going into space. No, I don't. Because the minute they say it's going into space, they provide a cartoon for you. That's right. Cartoon's all ready to go.
What's beyond the dome? I would imagine Chris would say heaven, or some sort of like other like worldly dimension, if I had to guess. Different ones have different answers though. But a lot of them think it's heaven. Some of them think it's more land. Some of them think nothing. Like it literally just the universe stops there in a physical sense.
Before they start,
I know that doesn't really make sense, but that's, a conspiracy.
Launch. It's all ready. All keyed up, ready to go. The minute they hit that...
Altered Undying says, you knew it was my birthday. Are you covering something with King Arthur for me? Yes, definitely not just a happy coincidence. Happy birthday, by the way, Altered Undying.
One little area, 70 miles up or whatever it is, boom, right to...
Yeah, water is common for the biblical flat earthers because of the mentions of the water above the firmament in Genesis, in regard to, like, the Noah story. So a lot of them think it's like another ocean, basically, maybe infinite water.
Cartoon land. There you go. Oh, there's your rocket. It's in cartoon land. With the fake Earth in the background, I love it. I love it. I love it. And then they'll give you a real, supposedly, videotape footage of this rocket with the Earth moving in the background, and the GoPro camera. To what that does, of course, that's the fisheye lens. Yeah, that creates a false circle. That's right. It curves everything. Yeah, I could take that lens right now and curve everything I'm looking at right now. Yeah, I can make my Earth look like the size of a basketball. Yes, NASA loves doing that. They just love it.
Can we move on? Yes, because there's 10 seconds left in this.
I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
Oh, Chris. Alright, let's do the King Arthur thing, shall we? 12% to level 6 with a minute left. Moss Sloth says, as far as we know, his wife doesn't believe these conspiracies, right? I can't imagine cohabitation with someone who thinks like this. Oh yeah, it's gotta be rough. Gotta be rough.
There is so much to say right now about the United Kingdom. Welcome, warriors of light, guardians of truth, and seekers of the Holy Grail. The rise of King Arthur is upon us right now, and the sword of Excalibur is being resurrected.
She's doing the thing. She's doing the thing. You mean Celebrimbor? Fake ass fan.
Symbolizing Arthur's lineage and the rightful sovereignty of Great Britain. The Lady of the Lake has been calling to our spirit, reigniting our passions for sacred traditions. And the trumpets have been blaring and sounding, and the red heifers have been being prepared for the coming of the third Messiah and building of the new Temple of Solomon. The veils are lifting, and the spirit of Albion is roaring back to life.
Word salad on the bingo card? Word salad on the bingo card. Thank you, everyone, for that wonderful hype train. Much, much appreciated. Good to see you, James.
Arthurian noblemen, Templars, Crusaders, Celts, Druids, Avalonians, Albions, the time has come. The rise of Arthur is right now, and it is shaking the foundations of this world, activating the Albion spine and the ley lines, connecting all the way over to Baltimore, connecting all the way over.
Oh, wait, all the way to Baltimore. I don't know if you know this, ley lines, the thing she's talking about. This is like a woo-woo conspirituality thing that some people believe. They think that there are these, what they call ley lines, which are lines of, like, psychic or spiritual energy, and they think that things of, like, spiritual or universal import happen along these lines, especially where they intersect.
To Charleston, South Carolina. We are standing at the dawn of a cosmic shift, and the rise of Arthur and Albion is not just a legend. It is the return of the Holy Father and the cosmic Holy Mother and the
Is this the one who's less into the third Messiah and more into the Third Reich? I'm not actually sure. It wouldn't surprise me, though.
Cosmic Christos consciousness that is manifesting into the sacred planet through the 11D Stargate right now.
Dimensions beyond our own on the bingo card, and believes sci-fi technology exists for the Stargate?
11D Stargate, the Vale of Pewsey, Amesbury, Wiltshire, United Kingdom, Stonehenge as the planetary Christ. The current events are
Stonehenge as the planetary Christ. I wish I was as good at words as these people. They just know how to put words that don't belong together in a way that's really satisfying. I don't know why. Bittergrin says, wait, who are the first and second messiahs? Jesus and Amadeus. Surprise. How dare you, Salieri? All over the place. She is. You know what's the best? Salt and vinegar chips. They're yummy.
no coincidence. They are the clarion call announcing the ascension timeline that has begun, that has shifted and arisen to a higher level, leading us straight to the global disclosure at a rapid rate. And what was hidden in darkness is now being revealed across the United Kingdom. The patriots are rising, and
The patriots. I know what that word means today, but it is a little funny how words change over time, and applying patriot to the UK.
uniting against the pain of the Grail, the cultural erasure that is taking place, against the invasion of their homeland, England.
Oh yeah, that's white supremacist shit.
Scotland, Ireland, and France. These ancient lands will be the first to activate to the King Arthur timeline. This is the call from the Amethyst.
Have I tried the air-fried salt and vinegar from by that brand? I haven't. It's actually the first time I've tried this brand. It's pretty good.
Order. The Holy Father is awakening, and the grid is igniting because of this. You may have felt it because it is lit, you guys. This is
It's lit!
activated in the Albion light body. An intense struggle rages to reclaim
Lennon Cat says, ma'am, England isn't even the ancestral land of the English.
the
If she could read, she'd be very upset.
evolutionary rounds at this time, all the way back to the Albion race seedings to the modern day timelines and Holy War world timelines. And it's recovering the planetary crown jewel, the crown in which has fallen from Christed consciousness. The 11th dimensional instruction set that restores the pineal gland for all of humanity, restores the organic ascension time wave in King Arthur's timeline, with King Arthur representing the resurrection of Christ.
Why does King Arthur represent the resurrection of Christ? Why wouldn't Christ just represent the resurrection of Christ? Why do you need to add an intermediary?
The guardians have revealed to me at this time that this is the most critical key to understanding the divine purpose of human consciousness evolution and the process of spiritual ascension to become initiated to the higher God characters and truth wisdoms of this earth. The Holy Father's rise of Arthur will be seated within the Albion ley line alongside his divine counterpart. They will awaken the sacred holy marriage, the sacred bridal chamber, and bring the return of the cosmic trinity. Yet this comes amidst covert genocidal agendas that are occurring right now. The Celtic massacres and Druid sacrifices of centuries to protect that land, of campaigns to erase the Celtic and Druid Grail bloodline. The Crusades
to wipe out the Celtic and Druid bloodlines
against the Black Heart virus and regime.
She's a Christian. Does she know that, like... Does she know that the Druids were, like... Does she know that St. Patrick is, like, famous for driving the Druids out of Ireland? She's pro-Druid, but also pro-Christian. Interesting. Christians historically did not get along with Druids. They didn't like them. They thought they were heretics.
The authentic Celtic Essene groups from the original timelines who...
Snakes are a metaphor, Overthought. Do you think he literally drove snakes out of Ireland?
Preserved the Nazarene Essene Christos teachings come with the power of the Diamond Sun Templar locations and solar disk activations that are in the United Kingdom, and the genetic records of
Yes, she's calling them Celtics, I know.
Angelic humans. They are on the British Isles. But we have to face this head on. We have to face the truth of this. This isn't just a spiritual rebirth at this time. This is a battle for the soul of Great Britain. And you may feel this in your core at this time, because the freedom of speech over in the UK is suffocating. Police are jailing individuals for speaking truth or pushing back against the corrupted globalist takeover, the corrupted globalist government. Sovereignty is crumbling, and the sacred lands are slipping into the grip of dark and harmful ideologies and globalist agendas being pushed from their very...
I'm gonna say thinly veiled anti-Semitism for the globalist agenda here. I'm just getting the vibe. Cabal on the bingo card? Yes.
Very own king from their very own fallen crown and the United Nations. We have to look at the facts. I've been screaming it from the rooftop. The mayor of London, Birmingham, Leeds, Blackburn, Sheffield, Oxford, Luton, Oldham, Rochdale, all are Islamic. Over...
Oh, okay, so we're just doing that. Okay.
1,800 mosques, 80 Sharia courts, 50 Sharia councils. This isn't integration or multiculturalism. This is infiltration.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked to find out that this is what she believes.
4 million Muslims in a nation of 66 million are reshaping Albion's heartbeat. 78% of Muslim women do not work and are supported by the funds of the taxpayers of the UK and are popping out 5 to 8 children to their 1 or 2. This is a soft jihad, a slow and deliberate
Oh my fucking god. It's just all white genocide conspiracy theories. What a fucking dumbass.
takeover. And the children of the UK are being forced to learn Islam in their schools.
Can't say that, Phoenix. Can't say that.
The globalist agenda web is fierce and destructive. And it's not just within these shores of the Atlantic. Keir Starmer is dragging Britain deeper into Ukraine's war. Boots on the ground, planes in the sky. They are chasing a
And to be clear, Phoenix, I get it. I have to, Twitch rules.
ceasefire that they cannot even secure without American backing. Trump's showdown with Zelensky laid it all very bare and very clear. You may have caught that Oval Office brawl. Zelensky wants protection, not just a mineral deal, and Trump is not playing ball without an earth rare mineral deal.
Fucking assholes. Just, they're monsters. They're genuinely absolute monsters. Every time I have to listen to these people, I lose faith in humanity, that this is how they see the world. Ugh. Green guy with the $3 tip says, just got done blowing off the porch after chainsawing, after buying Dairy Queen, after buying clothes for the wife, after doing yard work, after walking the dog and making breakfast. How was your day? Pretty good. Chiller than that. And H-Bird says, I propose a new plan. Planes on the ground and boots in the air. They'll never see it coming.
Now, European leaders are dangling billions, eyeing Russian frozen assets, begging Trump to bend. Meanwhile, King Charles bows to the Islamist pressures.
Fucking what is this insane woman talking about?
Preparing Ramadan dates. And for the first time in history, he is celebrating Islamic iftar in the palace itself versus honoring any Christian traditions.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't be celebrating Christmas at the palace this year.
I'm telling you guys, it is only a matter of time before King Charles announces his conversion to Islam. And
oh wow, she's like really out there, huh?
what kind of impact do you think that this is going to have on the British people? Charleston in South Carolina, the city is connected to King Charles. It's Charlestown, where the Patriots coming to the U.S. were trying to escape from King Charles, where they were called the Sons of Liberty. The Sons.
Fedekagami says, brawl, it was more like a circle of bullies around the nerdy transfer student. Also, does she think that the same people that left England, the Puritans, are the same people who were the, like, framers of the Constitution centuries later? These aren't the same group of people. They just happen to share the same rough geographical locations. And by that I mean, New England.
Sons of Liberty were a secret political organization in American colonies that fought British rule and fought British taxation. They led the American Revolution. They were active in the years leading up to America's true freedom and liberation. We are going to see many fleeing Great Britain and the UK like an exodus. But those who activate to the Arthurian timeline, they're going to be fleeing the persecution of King Charles under an Islamic rule. Hence why the grid.
I'm sorry, the first united caliphate is just like a funny like alt future concept to me. Instead of the United Kingdom, the United Caliphate, and it's still just King Charles in charge. Charles in charge of our days and our
work in Charleston, South Carolina at this time, you guys, is vital. So much is rerunning the original codes that founded the United States that will reissue the new codes of rebirth to the United Kingdom through the Phoenix Rising.
I don't know what any of that means. Green guy with a $3 tip says, I was planting seeds. I had my dog out with me. I used some cow manure and my dog excuse me, started eating the manure, so I had to put him in the house, hypothetically. That's gross. Fennikagami says, well, people take religions other than my own seriously, and that feels like oppression to me because I can't prove my version of God's the real one. Please, President Trump, force everyone to submit to my worldview so I don't have to introspect on my beliefs.
Meanwhile, the UN, Pakistani militias are flooding under mass migration into the United Kingdom. And here's the latest outrage. Americans can now be arrested upon entry into the United Kingdom for social media posts made in America.
Bittergrin says, so I know it wouldn't happen, but I kind of want to see Charles convert to Islam because I want to see what that means for the Church of England when their leader converts. Yeah!
That's right,
We're gonna do a Constantine! Look up Constantine, actually. that'll might answer your question.
Guys, the UK has joined the ranks of the likes of North Korea and Saudi Arabia, refusing to recognize American rights. And if I, as an American, speak my faith, speak my spirituality, speak my God-sovereign freedom, speak any of my beliefs in a way that the UK officials claim it affects their national interest, even from the US soil, you could be detained.
The Lennon Cat with 40 bits says, ma'am, people are getting arrested in the US for social media posts and people are getting refused entry for social media posts critical of Trump. You're projecting.
The moment that you step off a plane in the United Kingdom, the UK does not honor our First Amendment. And
Trump doesn't honor the First Amendment. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Also, I don't know how to break this to you. They wouldn't legally have to if they didn't want to. It's a different country, dipshit.
They've never upheld freedom of speech for their own people, for the indigenous of their land. So sorry, folks. Looks like I'm not going to be visiting the UK anytime soon. But here's the truth.
I'm sure they're real upset about that.
That they cannot bury. The reclamation of the Holy Grail is surging through the grids, surging through the timelines, activating in the 11th dimensional Stargate tied to Stonehenge, Ireland's Eye, St. Ives Bay, and activating the United Kingdom grid and the Arthurian bloodline. At these sacred...
Who's part of the Arthurian bloodline? Is it just white people? Is she just using that as a proxy for white people? Langren says, I see Birmingham referenced a lot by these types who try to paint us as, quote, under Islamic rule or whatever. There is definitely a big Muslim population here. We're a really diverse city, and I'm proud of that. Our local mosque hosted COVID jab clinics, and it was really nice to get to take a look around. Yeah, in the United States, Michigan has the highest Muslim population of the whole country, because Dearborn, Michigan has just a ton of, people who immigrate from places whose religion is primarily Islam. So yeah, I'm around people all the time, in the state who happen to be Muslim. The idea that, people who are Muslim who immigrate are somehow taking over the country is just, insane xenophobic crap. Genuinely, the people who believe this shit are paranoid, scary people. Greyline says, no, only the correct white people. Oh, great. Yes, dimensions beyond our own on the bingo card.
Sites of the Vale of Pewsey, Amesbury, Wiltshire, the Irish Sea, Cornwall's Grail Point are all pulsing with the renewal in the grid network that initiated the emancipation cycles, the emancipation codes of occupation. This is accelerating. This is awakening of and within the Albion, accelerating the diamond solar sun disks in the United Kingdom along the dragon's spine. We must rise and activate these treasures of Defender network systems. The pineal cages are cloudy and humanity's crown is shattering. And King Arthur's reseating will ignite the 7D pink flame in this awakening. This is the final conflict showdown. The globalists and the Islamic takeover crashing against the organic ascension timeline wave. Disclosure is coming, and it starts with the truth of these invasions, these holy wars, and these galactic negative ET timelines. This is a clarion call to all guardians, to all grid workers, and light warriors. Join us for the United Kingdom Freedom Grid Work, March 11th, 2025, 1 p.m. CDT time. Links are going to be down in the description below. We are uniting on a spiritual level, God's sovereign freedom level, to restore the Arthurian blood codes, activate the solar diamond sun disks in the 11th dimensional Stargate, and shield this land from destruction. You can sign up on my website at indigoangel222.com under my services tab, or you can sign up.
Does she charge money? Hold on. I gotta see. Yep, it's a join. Join. Oh, you fucking bitch. There it is immediately. 13th dimensional chakra clearing, 2 hours, $333 for 2 hours. J-Seal removing biological and planetary something, hour and 30 minutes, $288. Aryan occult seal removal section. Unnatural Draco hybrid seals, tyrannical death implants affecting central and masculine template. So she'll remove your Aryan occult seal for $288. Lemurian regression, which would be like regressing to a past life, so reincarnation on the bingo card, is $333. To regress to your former Lemurian life when you were an alien, I guess. Masculine template implant and tag removal. Lemurian regression, golden temple healing, masculine temple implant and tag removal. $333. Atlantean special. What's the Atlantean special? Atlantis on the bingo card. Atlantean special, which is just special package for those who are ready, is $576 for 2 hours. And it includes an in-depth starseed origin reading, a 1-hour spiritual consultation via Zoom, discounted for your Atlantean special, your choice of a J-Seal removal, a Draco Seal removal, or a deep 13D chakra cleaning, discounted for the Atlantean special. This also includes one free PDF version of my book, How to Read Celestial Starseed Akashic Records, emailed and attached with your reading. Put the coupon code from the show in at the checkout to receive another 10% off your package. Cosmic blessings, no refunds. Prices are subject to change. A diamond package, which includes all of her nonsense, bullshit, woo-woo, scam services, $2,063. $2,063. Weirdly, this one's only an hour. Oh no, you do 5 sessions though, I see. 1 hour consultation and then 5 1-hour sessions. And that's $2,063. Oh, there's a lot of things. Just a Zoom consultation for an hour, $144. Imagine getting paid $144 an hour for this. Life coordinate personal grid reading, $333. Divine Union's couples healing package, $555. Healing the Lands of Canada, $44. Is this just a donation for something? Join our next group grid work mission. Our recent roundtable revealed critical grid clearings needs for Canada. Oh no, they think they're clearing the spiritual energy from way lines in order to save the planet. Criticrin says I need to become evil. You know, as much money as I'm sure you'd make. Let's go with no. And yes, these are made with AI, many of them, so uses AI on the bingo card. Membership. She charges a membership. $10 per month. She really likes the duplicate numbers. 10, 10, 11, 11, 22, 22, 44, 44. Wow. Starseed Activator Kit. $228. Oh my god. Things people spend money on, let me tell you. Yeah, shilling on the bingo card for sure. For sure. Alright, moving on. Here's another medbed scammer. Gotta love these people.
So I've been very fortunate. I've been with James and known James for quite a while. Been on Super Soldier Talk at least 2, maybe 3 times. And we're really getting into a very exciting time now with a lot of technology that's being released, a lot of new technology that's being developed. And we're moving into the future where a lot of wellness technology is being made available to the masses. And so
Rajo03, thanks for following.
with Healthy Life Technology USA MedBed, our goal is to source the technology, get the inventors up.
He'll pay me 1 Twitch subscription to cleanse you of bad vibes. Alright, hold on, let me get my cleansing tools. Alright. It's time for the cleansing. Consider yourself cleansed. I don't know if you could hear that from my noise gate.
Of the technology to our channel, and then explain how the technology works and help them launch these products and get them out where the general public can get knowledge and information and be able to purchase those. I've been in the medical equipment industry now for about 15 years. And over the course of those years, we've built a lot of hospitals in Africa. We built hospitals in Pakistan.
By hospitals, do you mean bullshit buildings that they go in and then you scam them?
India, a lot into Mexico, a lot into South America. And that has been phenomenal. We worked with a lot of nonprofits, and we've been able to bring really high quality equipment to those in need overseas. And so that part of the industry, or that part of what I do, also ties into the fact that we sell
You didn't miss a bingo check. We'll do a bingo check after this video.
very high-end medical equipment for home care. And this is hospital-grade equipment for paraplegic, quadriplegic, stroke, ALS, MS. So earlier tonight, James is with me, and there were calls coming in. A father who had a son in a car accident. He flew out the window, broke his neck, and he's now paralyzed.
Is this motherfucker gonna try and claim that his med beds can cure people's paralysis?
And so over the last 15 years, one of the things that I've been specialized in is dealing with wound care and very high-end home care, which is really people that need hospital-grade care at home. And many of the medical providers out there do not want to deal with home care. They do not want to deal with selling beds and bringing them into homes. But that's one of the specialties that we've developed. And I've also become very well-versed in wound care, dealing with pressure sores, bed sores, and pulmonary related equipment. So tonight with this call, perfect example. There's a gentleman, his son needs a very high-end bed for home due to an accident that he suffered.
Is he using, because I've seen him before, he's using woo-woo stuff. I don't know if I've ever heard him discuss med beds, though. Is he genuinely selling, like, medical beds? And he's using the veneer and the name of medbeds and its association with conspiracy theory in order to try and make it sound like the actual just medical beds he's selling people with that need, that it has some supernatural thing. Weird vibe I'm getting. H-Bird says my medbed cures me of sleepiness. That's nice.
And so we're going to be a company that they can provide that medical care to. Now, through this course of doing that, I've heard a lot about med beds. I heard a lot about health and wellness technology, but I wanted to see if there was technology that's available that can help these people that have been given these really bad, progressive diseases, or given these types of outcomes where there's really not a lot of hope. And so the goal with a lot of these technologies is to see if there is something that can help get that tissue connected and help this person walk again, or help the person with ALS to get the movement or slow down the advancement of ALS, or to deal with neuropathy, or deal with muscular dystrophy, or deal with multiple sclerosis, and all these different diseases that, quite frankly, in the last 50 years, I have not seen a lot of progress being made in that. So when
So it's time for you to start selling scams to vulnerable people?
the name MedBed came out and that technology started getting circulated throughout the internet, which we'll say maybe was 8 to 10 years ago where I picked up on it, I was
I would imagine that conspiracy pre-exists 8 to 10 years ago. M. Scheffler says, odd, my bed seems to inflict sleepiness.
very curious and decided that I wanted to know more about the technology, if the technology was actually real,
It's not.
and what technology would be available right now. And so through that course of discovery and through that course of going out and doing the searching and the digging and the research, it leads to a lot of different venues and a lot of different knowledge bases. Number one, starting with Tesla technology. And what's
Of course he has to throw Nikola Tesla's name in there to make it sound legitimate to the crackpots. If you want to sell people on some nonsense, I'm telling you, throw in Nikola Tesla. They think he's too legit to quit. Absolutely nuts. That man was in love with a pigeon and didn't understand that you can't have wireless power because the further away you get, the more power you need to get to a further away place exponentially.
some of the great early pioneers were doing over 100 years ago. And so
AC's pretty cool though, so thanks for AC.
there's a lot of these people to be mentioned, but namely
As in current, not air conditioner.
Nikola Tesla, and then followed by Royal Raymond Rife, um, and then also followed by Georges Lakhovsky and so many others, which we could go on just a whole show on just the giants and the brilliance of these scientists. And so what we find is that these
Top kink shaming him. Bestiality isn't a kink. That doesn't count. Don't fuck animals. They can't consent.
people were highly advanced and they were producing very advanced technology for the day. And many of these people met with a lot of resistance, and a lot of issues and things came up that really prevented them from being able to get these technologies out to the general public. And so you have the story of Royal Rife, who in the 1920s developed a microscope with over 6,000 working parts and had a 60,000 time magnification, which up until 10 years ago, the electron microscope was the only thing that could do it. And that could only look at organisms that were actually dead. But yet in the 1920s, Royal Rife was actually looking at living organisms under a microscope and then figuring out what frequency sets those organisms thrived at and what frequency sets would eliminate certain organisms or certain cells. And so
Frequency sets.
this is work that was done 100 years ago. Now, the Rife frequency sets are used by dozens and dozens of different technologies. In fact, one of the technologies that I wear and that we have here is the Wave Watch, which is a sound frequency watch that we sell. And this runs literally over 1,000 different Rife frequencies. Modern technology now,
So it's a scam, smartwatch that claims to make you healthier by sending waves into your body.
is really using technology or working from the backbone of really amazing discoveries and things that were put in place over 100 years ago. And then you get to this.
Oh, you guys can't see his crystal collection. I need you to see the scam vibes. Check out his crystals. Putting it out there. He also has a chart, a picture of the chakras above him. So he's got all the alt health minutia scattered throughout his office.
Story of George
Flower of life here. This is the thing that Terrence Howard is obsessed with.
Lukovsky, and anybody that's been in my office knows that I've got these multi-wave oscillators everywhere. Like, they're all over my office, they're all over my house, they're everywhere. But these are technologies, once again, that these people developed and
Yeah,
started.
big geodes like that are expensive. I've looked into them because I like amethysts, you know, not in like a kooky way, in a I think minerals are cool way. Like a one of those big amethyst, you know, geodes would be a really cool piece of just decor, I think. But yeah, they're expensive. They're super expensive. One as big as he has would probably cost like $700 minimum, if I had to guess.
Started using over 100 years ago. And with George Lukovsky, and I've told the story many times, he was born in Russia. He did most of his work in France. He took notes from Nikola Tesla.
What if you find it yourself? I mean, if it's property you can take minerals from, it'd be fine. Although that's probably more than 25 pounds. And I think in Michigan, usually you're only supposed to take 25 pounds of stone from public property a year. Something like that.
And he developed something called a multi-wave oscillator. Something like this is a 12-circle.
Green guy with the $3 tip says, I think about if alternating current was never invented until recent times, there would be way less suburban sprawl that requires a car. Cities would be more walkable and more trains. There'd be a lot of other butterfly effect things, though, too. So
12 different rings, and each ring is a frequency, and those are frequency sets that are very beneficial for the body. And they put this technology together, and they were making amazing technology back in the day.
Terrence Howard claimed he solved the 3-body problem. That's so funny.
And so then you had second generation scientists, someone like Anton Priory, who picked up the work of Lukovsky and Tesla, and then also went into a development stage. And then now we're in third generation technology, third generation scientists that are even advancing this farther. So
Third generation scientists.
there is a lot of very good technology that's out there right now. The term med beds and the release of the government med beds is certainly the hope of all of us. We can't wait and can't, have that day come soon enough. However, as somebody that takes calls every single day from people that are really messed up, and you can imagine all the different reasons that people need ICU equipment at home, I need to provide solutions, and I need to provide options for people today. I'm not.
All right. That's probably enough of this guy. He goes on for an hour. Oh my god, he does a demonstration. Nope, never mind. We gotta see the demonstration. I thought he just sat there. Nope, we gotta see this. This is important. Oh my god. Oh my god. He's got a whole scam set. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost skipped this. He's got things on the wall that make it look like it's a spaceship. The mannequin in the corner is chrome, so you know it's the future. Future! Future! Alright, let's get into this.
Amazing piece of technology. So James, this is the multi-wave oscillator. This is a really amazing piece of technology, historical piece of technology for the wellness using energy and
energy and frequency. Wow. Green guy with the $3 tip says, I thought you didn't like butterflies. Someone brought up a good point. They wished more rich people were like Terrence and did crazy stuff without ending the Department of Education. You know, I think we should maybe just not let people be so infinitely wealthy that they can do whatever they want with absolutely no checks and balances. I think that would probably be pretty cool.
frequency developed by Georges Lakhovsky. He worked with notes from Nikola Tesla and other great scientists. Now, this
Isn't that what Buckaroo Banzai invented? What was the name of the thing Buckaroo Banzai invented to traverse the 8th dimension? I forget. There's some technobabble name for it. Hold on. Let me look this up. What did Buckaroo Banzai invent? A good movie, by the way. The hyperdrive oscillator? There you go. That probably sounds right.
piece of technology is primarily doing three.
The best piece of wisdom from Buckaroo Banzai is don't be mean. Never be mean. Always remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
Primary things. The first thing is, if you notice here, you've got these rings. Each one of these rings is a frequency set. And so you've got 12 rings that go all the way into the center, and they're basically creating an energy field in the middle, and it's sending
Are
these
they?
12 beneficial energies into the body. So
Whoa, it's like the 11 herbs and spices, except plus one more.
that's number one. Number two, inside this energy field, it's sending electrical energy in the body as well. And what that's doing is that's charging the cells and charging the body with electrical energy. Being that we are electrical creatures and we do run on electricity, having enough electrical energy in the body to run normal bodily functions, exercise, or recovery from illness is all very essential, all very important. Now, when we're young in our 30s, we run at about 100 millivolts of electrical energy.
Okay, but here's the thing. We don't really imbibe electrical energy, even though some of our systems are electrical in nature. We use chemical energy that we then convert into other kinds of energy, right? Because we eat food. That's a thing we do to get our energy.
But when in our 70s, we're running on about 30 millivolts of electrical energy. So charging the cells, charging the body with electrical energy,
Have a good shower, green guy.
keeping you healthy, giving you more energy to do all the things that you want to do, living a healthy, happy life. And the third thing that this is doing, which is the primary function of the technology, is restoring cells back to their maximum or their peak oscillation or vibrational rate. So cells vibrate or oscillate, and the multi-wave oscillator basically restores cells to their maximum oscillation or their peak oscillation for maximum efficiency. Georges Lakhovsky found that when people were unhealthy, what was happening was that the oscillation rate of the cell was starting.
Sorry, I just noticed that it's a dummy on the table and not an actual human. I thought that was a real person. I didn't look at their face once. That's not a real person. That's a dummy. He put socks on. Never mind.
To decline. So people that were really sick, if the maximum oscillation or the potential oscillation or the premium oscillation was 15,000 vibrations per second, people that were sick would be at 10,000, and people that were really
Was it moving?
in bad shape might be as low as
Now I can't even tell. Is it a person?
5,000. Now pathogens and
Okay, they're breathing. Never mind. It's a real person. They just look like a mannequin to me.
types of cells
From this angle,
resonate
their
at low
face looks like a
vibration.
mannequin.
So when they're hit with high vibrational energy, it dissipates or removes those cells.
Maybe it was a mannequin. Have you guys seen the movie Mannequin or Mannequin 2 on the move? We may have witnessed a miracle.
But for healthy cells to be restored back to their potential and their maximum oscillation or vibration rate is what this technology is really set to do. So by being in this field, you're basically getting the 12 beneficial frequencies sent into the body. Each part of the body resonates with a different frequency. So those 12 frequencies, each part of the body absorbs the frequency that resonates with that. You're getting the electrical energy, which is beneficial for restoring the body and giving it energy. And then you're all
So I should just like hook up jumper cables to my body if that's the case, right? Is that what he's saying?
also restoring cells to their peak oscillation or vibrational rates. and they had great success with this technology in New York.
German Cow says, I've seen Pin also with a mannequin. Or is it? He's sort of an anatomical dummy. I wish Pin would come out on Blu-ray. Pin has never come out on Blu-ray. That's crazy. Justice for Pin.
Georges Lakhovsky was born in Russia. He did most of his work in France. They produced the technology in France from 1930.
Oh, fuck, Hannah mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card. Whoever, did you do that intentionally, German Cow JJ? Because that was a 8D chess move, mentioning a movie that's like right up my alley in that it's a weird pervert horror movie that hasn't ever been released on Blu-ray. There's no way I wasn't gonna mention that, right? Bittergrin says, it's not a miracle, it's the power of the med bed. It can even heal things that just look human.
In 1939, just before the start of World War II. And
Pin came out in Germany, but it's essentially a DVD upscale. I'm sure it'll get transferred eventually. That's right up like Vinegar Syndrome or Severance alley.
this was very well documented technology. Now, this technology was also put into hospitals.
I would bet in the next 18 months Pin gets a Blu-ray release, if I had to guess.
In New York City.
Because it's actually, I own so much like 80s and 90s trash, you know. I say that lovingly. I love this trash, but it's trash. It's schlock, you know. Pin is like a pretty glaring one that isn't in there, weirdly.
Where they also were put on trials and had very good results with a host of different illnesses. Georges Lakhovsky was invited to celebrate the success of the multi-wave oscillator there. Unfortunately, during that trip, he was hit by a car. The technology was removed and it thus went into obscurity. But in the Europe where the technology was originally developed and sold and brought out, it was still very popular.
I'm going to skip ahead to when he starts doing it.
20 minutes.
Oh my god! He got those little plasma ball things you get at Spencer Gifts, and he's acting like they're a medical device. Holy fuck, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Something going on health-wise with you. So, James...
Yes, there's a Mannequin 2. It's called Mannequin 2 on the Move. I didn't make up Mannequin 2. You think I'm insane? You think I'm the kind of person that would make up a sequel to the 80s comedy film Mannequin for a joke? What kind of person do you think I am?
James, this is definitely one of the most popular pieces of actual medbed type technology that's available. These are the plasma energy spheres. And this is actually a really good segue because we just talked about the multi-wave oscillators developed by Mr. Dan Winter and Mr. Patrick Bate. These actually pick up and advance the multi-wave oscillator technology. Now, the plasma energy spheres are basically sending centipedal, meaning spiraling inward signals into the middle.
Is that what centipedal means?
Riley being in the middle where those two signals collide, that creates a scalar energy field. And all
he's using the term scalar energy too. Scalar energy is the nonsense, like woo-woo pseudoscience that other guy uses who puts the pictures in the box with pictures of herpes to cure your herpes. The guy that we think has herpes because he talks about herpes all the time, which is fine to have herpes. Nothing wrong with that inherently. But, like, he uses it to try and get people to buy his scam services because he says he can, like, vaporize your herpes with a scalar energy laser from 1,000 miles away. Oh, he meant centripetal. Yes, I thought he said centipedal. Maybe he did say that. H-Bird says, my headcanon is that the woman on the bed is an actress he got from Fiverr, and she's bored out of her mind right now. Scared would be probably my thought. If I walked into this room and was told to lay on this table, I would be pretty concerned I was ending up in a snuff film. Pretty concerned.
Negative frequencies are removed and all the positive frequencies basically sit in this field. Now, being that this is plasma energy, that energy field becomes toroidal, meaning it's like the shape of a heart. It circles down and back and forth. And as it does that, it connects into the frequency that the DNA runs on, and thus it becomes a mindful and intelligent energy field.
The DNA runs on a frequency.
So intention when using these is also a very important factor that you want to consider, and knowing what the outcome is that you're looking for
Would I
and
do it for $5? No, probably 100.
meditating on that outcome and meditating in that energy field creates a whole nother dimension to this type of technology. Now, these energy spheres, unlike the multi-wave oscillator that has a fixed set of frequencies, actually runs off of an app, which is here. It's available on iTunes, and you can run this off your phone or you can run this off the iPad, but you can pick the frequency sets that are resonating with you that you need. So as an example, here at our facility, we've had people come in that have had heart issues. And one gentleman had limited function of the heart, and so we ran frequencies for the heart. But in this set of frequency sets, you can run it for any body part. There's a chakra cascade that charges the field of the body. And then you also have
Yeah, Scam Daddy, charge my root chakra with your app.
different parts of the brain, heart, just about every part of the body can be run off of this app. Very easy to use. Simply just press play. It has a Bluetooth, it picks up the signal, it runs it into the spheres. Now, optimal time on this would be about 10 to 15 minutes per session. You might start off first with a
Does the plasma ball make it all legit? Does one plasma ball? Absolutely not. But you know what does? Two plasma balls. If he had one, I'd think it was suspicious. I'd go, he's just trying to use those to look vaguely scientific. But he's got two, so they must be functional. Because one or two, just as good for tricking people. So if we went with two, must mean it's legit. Okay?
with the thyroid for 5 minutes, and then maybe you do the pineal gland for 5 minutes, and then maybe finish with the chakra cascade. But you can target internal organs, you can target external parts of the body, many different parts of the brain. This is very good for a whole host of different things, including declustering your blood. So when you're using this technology, when blood starts to
My blood tends to not cluster on its own. If it did, I'd have a clot, and that would be a problem.
clump and cluster and become like jelly, after just 15 or 20 minutes of using these plasma energy spheres, it restores the red blood cell back to its little circular shape. Thus, it reduces blood viscosity, and it takes off a lot of pressure of the heart and the body to pump blood that's clogged or cluttered. Now, generally speaking, that's something that you would do on a regular ongoing basis. So if you have problems with your blood and it's clumped and it's clustered, this would be something you'd
He's
want
claiming that his app cures blood clots.
to do on a monthly basis. But for everybody like myself, I have these at my home. I lay them on each side of the bed, and I will basically run frequency sets.
Those look like the mind vessel things from that episode where Spock gets his brain removed. Spock's brain is the name of that episode. Spock's brain. Brain and brain. What is brain?
For 15 to 20 minutes in the morning or 15, 20 minutes at night. It's optimal in the morning at sunrise. It's optimal at around sunset, but it's good any time of the day. This is a really powerful piece of technology. It's very low priced. And this is something that if anybody's opening a wellness center or looking to add an additional technology, this would be an amazing piece to have. Once again, it's the plasma energy spheres. And these, once again, are developed by Mr. Dan Winter and Mr.
You bought these are from like Spencer's Gifts with a box built around them. What are you talking about?
Patrick Bate and
Look at the
Riley.
app.
See right now for the plasma for wellness centers. Okay, so James, this is the app for the plasma energy spheres. You can get
Did
it.
they intentionally make it look like L cars? Because it looks a little bit like L cars. If you don't know what L cars is, L-CARS is the imaginary operating system that computers run on in Star Trek Next Generation and after. It looks like that a little bit. But yeah, his app looks a little bit like L-CARS. Did he tell them to make it look sci-fi? And that's the best they got? Where did he go?
On iTunes. It's called Flame and Sound. And this is a really beautiful piece of technology. You can see right now, we're running the full chakra cascade. Now, there's a lot that can be done with this. I'm going to keep it very simple for our presentation, but you can see parietal lobe, different parts of the brain.
Parietal? Did he just say parietal instead of parietal?
All the different parts of the brain can be targeted.
Or are both things and I'm the idiot? Totally possible.
And then you've got other parts here: forehead, temple, eyebrows, pineal gland, all these different areas right here. Hopefully you can see that. And it's as easy as just hitting stop. And then I'm going to pick another frequency set. We'll say teeth, mouth, gums. If you're having issues with your mouth, your gums, your teeth, you just simply press that and then hit play. And I've run this many times for mouth, teeth, and gums. And even
If that's for mouth, teeth, and gums, why is the dot on someone's, like, pelvic area? Do you have teeth in your pelvis?
maintaining good, healthy
Is that what they're trying to cure? Her vagina dentata?
teeth, good, healthy gums. That's also very popular. So this is something here that you could find that would be a very easy piece of technology to use at home. Once again, you can go to frequency tables also, and then you can add different right frequencies. So you can add single frequencies. If there's a frequency set you don't see, you can just go in, add that set. You can pick your favorite pair of frequencies, and you have a whole different other group of different frequency sets that can be run. There's actually a lot that can be done with this technology, but if you just come into your frequency tables, which we'll do here, you know, it basically starts down at your feet, and you've got your toes and different frequencies down there. Anybody familiar with reflexology, you know that there's literally hundreds and hundreds of pressure points or energy points on the
All right, let's see her get into the bed.
and this will run your plasma energy spheres. All right, so James,
This is, oh yeah, they stole the Stark Industries logo from the MCU. It's basically the Stark Industries logo, but they stole it. Anyway.
this is one of our most popular pieces of technology, the Celestial Pod. This is
Okay, there's also lava lamps. I'm getting less legitimate vibes from the lava lamps than I was the plasma spheres. It's like he went to Spencer's Gifts to get the plasma balls, and he was like, I should get some lava lamps while I'm here. I like lava lamps. Which, yeah, I like lava lamps too, but, like, does it really fit with the aesthetic you're going for? It doesn't look like a science lab. It looks like one of the Brady's rooms. Hey, Greg, what you got there? A lava lamp, Dad. Nice and groovy, or however the Brady's talked. I don't know.
This is a technology right now that is really starting to become popular with wellness centers, but it's not all that expensive. So a lot of people are buying these. Half of these are being purchased for home. So we're going to go through, we've got Catherine actually inside it today, and she's on day 2. And so thank you, Catherine, for joining us and being a part of this. Now I'm going to go through, it's a very easy piece of technology to use. It's basically on-off switches. The first switch we're going to activate is cell resonance. The second one we're going to activate is ozone. Then we're going to do negative ions. And then we're going to do vibration. And as Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think energy, frequency, vibration. And so this technology is incorporating all those different things in there. Now, vibration can be adjusted. And I know that Catherine likes vibration. So we're going to go ahead.
Oh my god! It just vibrates! Like a tacky motel room bed that you stick a quarter in. It's like a magic finger sex bed.
And crank up the vibration a little bit on that. The next thing we've got is the far infrared. So we've got far infrared technology. We're going to activate that. Terahertz mattress. For a lot of people out there.
You found it? Oh god, how expensive is this thing? Honestly, only $1,400? It does even less than I thought. So at this point, I'm guessing it's basically just a box with lights. I would love for someone who's an actual engineer to buy one of these for like a YouTube video and tear it apart and just show that it's like, wait, per month? It's per month? Oh, that's the financing. What? Can you just buy one outright, or does it have to be per month? There's only a per month option. What? Oh, you have to log in to see the prices. Oh my god. I don't even want to know. Oh, the scams. These people are getting so scammed.
Terahertz frequency is a very powerful frequency. It's an optimal frequency that your cells resonate at. So you're sending that terahertz energy into the body. And then we also have graphite heating. We have chromotherapy. You can see we just took the lights on. They just went on inside. And
Chromotherapy. We put LEDs in it.
then we also have the gyrotherapy. So in this map that she's laying on is far infrared light, is also magnets and crystals.
Whoa, magnets and crystals?
And then you have all these other different components that are being brought in. The ozone and negative ions are coming out through here. And this does also have an optional Bluetooth option, so you can run 432 hertz or 528 or any other types of frequency sets. Okay, so this is a look at the control panel of the Celestial Pod.
When he said that, does he just mean it has a speaker that has Bluetooth connectivity?
And one of the things that's really great about the technology is not only does it have a lot of different aspects to it, it's very easy to use. So cell resonance, we've got that on, but I'm just going to show you off, on. Boom, we want to run that, we've got it on. Ozone is off right now. I slide that over and now it's on. And then we have the negative ions.
Why does it have the same UI as an off-brand MP3 player from 2006? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
We have the vibration level. If you see underneath vibration, I can adjust that so we can make it vibrate even more, which we just turned up the vibration.
The Celestial Medbed Pod, $27,000. Jesus Christ, 10-day delivery, $27,000. That's disgusting. The person who manufactures this should be in prison.
Very easy to do. And then we have the the far infrared heating, which once again, we can make this much warmer if we want to, depending on the comfort level of the person. Ideally, you always start slow and then you start to gradually turn up the heat as the people get comfortable with that. And then you have the terahertz mattress, and the terahertz frequency is a frequency that runs its optimal frequency for cell and cell vibration rates. And so we're running terahertz frequency through the mattress. Then we also have the graphite heating, and we can turn that up as well, depending on what the comfort level is. And then we have the chromotherapy, which once again is on off. I'm just going to turn that back on.
Which once again
and
is
then we also
LED
have the
lights.
gyrotherapy. And then we also have the ability to Bluetooth in and run additional frequencies or sound vibration. Somebody could
So I could like play my Boner Jams 97 mix.
be wearing
Cool beans.
headphones, listening to 432 hertz. So it's a technology that has a lot of different things in it. It's very popular. It's very light. It's very easy to move. It can fit very easily into office spaces, and it's very easy to ship, being that we're in the medical equipment industry as well. We deal with a lot of large medical pieces
As well. Oh, so you're agreeing this isn't a piece of medical equipment?
of technology. This is not one of them. It's actually not classified as a medical device, but being
There you go.
a wellness device and an energy and frequency-based technology, it is something that's extremely popular. So for anybody that's out there that has questions, don't feel
How many rich crackpots have bought one of these things? Not a joke. Is it in the tens? Is it 100?
feel free to ask. Don't hesitate to send them out to us. And once again, we're looking at the Celestial Pod control panel. I'm going to go ahead and lift this up so you can actually see the lights and the inside of it with the system running.
Just lights.
And then we also have the gyrotherapy. So in this map that she's
Sorry, the fact that she just sits there and gets vibrated is so funny.
laying on is far infrared light, is also magnets and crystals. And then you have all these other different components that are being brought in. The ozone and negative ions are coming out through here. And this does also have an optional Bluetooth option, so you can run 432
He
hertz.
just keeps repeating. He's like stuck on a loop. Am I crazy? Does he not just keep repeating the same like 3 or 4 talking points?
Or 528
Am I fucking crazy?
or any other types of frequency sets. It's really as simple as just dropping it down and letting her go ahead and sit inside. And the optimal time to use this is going to be about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, this does a lot of different things. One of the main
None of them are good or really of note, but it does do a lot of different ones.
things it does is it cleanses the lymphatic
So
system.
what? Someone's fucking with the tripod. What are you doing?
It helps
Oh,
push
don't reframe the shot. You're ruining it. Cut. Cut. Who's fucking with the shot?
and
Come
discharge the
on!
body, cleaning out the lymphatic system, cleaning
Why didn't you cut to this earlier? To cover for the camera
out
issues.
toxic
You easily could have done this cut to cover for your own mistakes. What are you doing in editing? What are you doing?
material. But anybody familiar with far infrared, chromotherapy, and all these different
Sorry, the lack of ability to edit basic things annoys me a lot.
technologies, they're all incorporated into one. The optimal time to use this is going to be somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes per session. And optimally, you'll use this at least 3 times a week.
He's repeating
And so
himself
for
again.
Catherine, she used it yesterday for
Talk about the Bluetooth again. You haven't mentioned the Bluetooth 6 times.
the first time. She did 2 sessions, each about 20 to 25 minutes, was feeling better today. But the goal is, like with anything, is to do consistent use and monitor your progress over the time of days, weeks, months, and years. So this is day 2 for Catherine. We're putting her back in there. This is the Celestial Pod, a new technology, a very cutting edge technology, and definitely one we get a lot of great feedback from and a lot of real positive feedback and comments. All right, so James, a lot of really cool health and wellness technology products right now that are available. A lot of these are very inexpensive, perfect for home use. We're going to start off first with probably one of our #1 best sellers, and that's going to be the terahertz wand. This is a technology that includes multiple different types of energies and frequencies, kind of pointed in there. And
Slaps top of cone. You can fit so many energies and frequencies in this baby.
basically what this does is this sends out far infrared, terahertz frequency, heat, and also quantum energy. And when it hits,
It shoots quantum energy? Holy shit, that's insane. Can I send people to the shadow realm?
it's really good for stimulating muscles, bones, joints. It's very good for pain relief. A lot of people use that for knees, back. Also very good for your mouth, teeth, and gums. Very good for the skin. It does also have far infrared inside. And so these have been out now for about 3 years. We've had hundreds.
Aren't a lot of dental applications like use glue that's activated using infrared? Or maybe it's the other direction from infrared. Ultraviolet? Maybe they use ultraviolet. Maybe that's fine.
of amazing
I just don't want this guy accidentally having people fuck up their dental stuff. Like if they have anything that has glue or adhesive or anything that's
testimonials
has a chemical reaction to certain frequencies of light.
for pain, discomfort, and all different types, actually even hair growth. The newest technology, James, is the red light technology. So we have the new little red light panels, which are very tiny, very easy to use. And these are also available right now. Why is this thing now? There we go. So you just basically just press the green button, hit start, and you can throw off red light. Now, if you're using
Whoa, I've never seen a red light before. That's crazy. They should put those on stoplights. Really don't understand why we have them. Just green and yellow. Barely seems worth it.
this, if you're using this at home and you're putting it on your face, then you're going to have the goggles. It'll come with a pair of goggles. If you just want to put it on parts of the body, it's really good. You can feel a little bit of heat coming from that red light. Really good for detox. Now you can just turn that off And I don't know if you can see this, James, but it also has near infrared light. So when you hit that, it does throw off a little bit of a different light pattern. It's a little bit harder to see, but that's also another feature that this technology would have. And then we've got one of a really group of different Tesla technology products. These are going to be the Tesla oscillators. These are basically referred to as Tesla paddles. They're energy frequency paddles that you put directly on the body, stimulates the body, stimulates cells, and it's
Is it basically a charging pad? Is it a wireless charging station that you've rebranded and are selling for 10 times what you could get it for on like AliExpress or Temu? I'm guessing that it's a wireless charging dock.
It's really good for energy. It's really good for detox. It's really good for pain, stiffness, soreness. This package, there's two packages that come out. One is just this white paddle with the PEMF, or you can go with the dual paddle of all three of these. This is the Flower of Life, the Labyrinth, and the Whirlpool. Different energy patterns. They hook up to that little box right there. Super easy to use. And James, if you pull out of that black piece right there, there's two copper rods, and that's a parasite removal, which is also part of the package. And basically what you do is hold on to those two copper rods for about 15, 20 minutes. That is a timer right there, not only the generator, but a timer. And that'll help
I promise this is not removing any parasites from your body. If you have parasites, please see a doctor.
cleanse the body of parasites as well. A really, really popular technology. One of our best sellers, James, is the Wave Watch, the sound frequency watch. I have the older version here on my wrist. This is the newer version, much smaller, runs 1100 frequency sets into the body. So you can basically just turn it on, and I'll show you here on mine. You just basically turn it on. You have a set of frequency sets. You just pick one. It sends sound frequency
My hand okay? Yeah.
into the
You're just
wrist.
falling asleep.
Very easy to use. And this is something also thousands of documented testimonials with the power of the Wave Watch.
Now, what have you experienced with the Wave Watch?
So for the Wave Watch, for me, I have used it for mouth, teeth, and gums. I've had problems with teeth.
The fact that he's trying to claim that his smartwatch is helping his gums is so frustrating. Alright, enough of him, scam artist. Let's take a look at the bingo card. We have waited way too long to check on the bingo card. We have Flat Earth. We have Recording in Car. We have... Vibes-based conspiracy. Believe sci-fi tech exists. Dimension beyond our own. Billing scamming. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Word salad. What else? 55, 60. Conspiracy theorist tells on themselves for the anti-Islam lady. Sure. Guy is fake. Yeah, for Chris's thing. Yeah. 34 or 77. I don't think so. Believes they speak to aliens regularly. Who for? Did we have someone who thought they speak to aliens? We did have Atlantis. That's 33. Then, oh, did we have thinly veiled anti-Semitism? Okay. Because they mention... Okay. Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. Past lives, reincarnation. What's scientism? That's when they say that science is a religion. We did have Cabal. Yes, that's the same as Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. Alright, I think that's it. 31 for... Oh, you're right. Poor understanding of Eastern philosophy or religion for the chakras thing. I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh, and uses AI. All right. Should be all caught up. Let's see what we're moving on to next. Oh, I know that some people like her, some people hate her. I mean, I know we all disagree with her, but some people like covering her, some people don't. I'm the leader, though, and I like covering her. So, oh, look, it's Wretched Recess. It's only a 5-minute video, though, so that's good.
Hey everyone, I've been a little under the weather this week. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to leave you hanging. I've got a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about. I just like have not been able to make a video. Sorry about that, but this is going to be short. I just wanted to say hi and just tell you something I've been thinking about. I have another Wretched Roundup coming your way soon.
How exciting.
You guys really liked that first video, so I'm going to keep doing those. And a couple of other things.
Is that Leo? Everyone's Leo.
But yeah, this is going to be a short one, but hope you enjoy it. Okay, so this pose right here, I learned this on YouTube, like 100%. I'm pretty sure I learned this from Simon Woods. I'll always give credit where I learned something. Yeah, so Mark Master is like a Freemason pose, and this is what it looks like. Here it is again. You can read that sign of a Mark Master Mason pose. So it's like pointing to your head. I can barely breathe. I probably shouldn't be making this, but I wanted to get a video up for you. So the other day I posted this and I said I'll
There's no way she's gonna say what... There's no way, right? There's no way she's about to do this, right?
be talking about the Coreys, and like then you guys really left some really good comments under this, and I'll include that in the Wretched Roundup.
Is she gonna say that Corey is the same guy as Patrick Swayze? Because they're not. They're entirely different people who are entirely different ages.
So being on the outside, like an outsider to all of this, here's my question. So here's this pose, right? I like the Coreys, so I'm not going to say like anything like mean or bad about them, but I do have to point out that there are some especially like girly looking pictures of Corey Haim, and I don't mean that in a mean way.
I don't think he looks girly here.
It's like it is what it is to me. So, you know, that's...
I don't understand. Do you mean because he's like kind of slouched? He's sitting and leaning in towards Drew Barrymore? Oh my god, this is the same thing. You know when like dude bro weirdos draw like the line where it's like, oh, the female has like a straight posture and the male has a beta diagonal posture. Is this that shit?
Him on the right, that looks like a very feminine person. That one there again looks pretty like quite girly to me. But back to this Mark Master thing.
She lived through the 80s. How does she not know this is just like how certain celebrities looked in the 80s? This was just a vibe. This was just the aesthetic.
I came across like an absurd amount of photos of Corey Haim posing like this. This one. I'm just going to show you guys like a bunch of...
It's a common pose.
Them. Here he's doing that one Johnny Depp did there with the interlaced fingers with the pyramid. Sorry if there's any
hands are pyramids. You know that?
Here I just like saved a bunch to a Pinterest board. Baphomet one, Mark Master, Alice Crowley one. Oh my gosh, hold on. There's more of these Mark Master. Interlaced fingers. Here we go. Oh, here's a nice hidden hand in the jacket. You know, Freemason pose. Check out this picture. Look at the body on the right and look at the masculine body on the left. I think I even see something in the pants there. that is a straight up dude, and that's him kissing some girlfriend of his, like, I don't know, in the 80s,
Transphobia, transvestigation on the bingo card?
I guess. All right, but like, here's a bunch more. This one, this one. All right, so here's my question. He's like a young teenager here doing this, so I suppose the photographers are in on this too, then, right? Um, and I guess my question is, does he know what he's doing? Like as a teenager, because that's a lot of different poses from him. So is it the photographer going, "Hey, Corey, we're going to need you to point to your head again," you know? Or does he know exactly what he's doing? Like,
Photographers do generally tell you the poses to do.
at what age are they told, like, you're in this cult or whatever it is, and these are the poses you're going to do in these pictures? How do you guys, how do you think that works? Do they choose to do this? Are they being told, like, this is how you're posing? We're going to need you to hold your hand in a V again. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you guys oh, one of you guys told me about a soccer ball. This one's not black and white, but somebody back the first time, like on my channel before it got pulled down, told me about soccer balls being a sign for like the black and white duality and androgyny or something. And they were like, you know, look for soccer balls in like TV shows and movies. And like ever since they said that, you'll see them
It's
just
the most popular sport in the world. You're gonna see some soccer balls.
popping up in random scenes like for no reason. But yeah, do you think these kids know? And like what age are they told? Or like is it the photographers and people around them telling them to pose that way? All right, I can barely talk and breathe, but I just wanted to pop on here and just give you a little something. Let me know, like, really, I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. All right, I'm gonna go try to breathe. um, I'll leave you with Corey Feldman there, and I will see you in the next video, and I'll have that like wretched roundup coming soon. Okay, bye.
Lennon Cat with 40 bits says, this man was one of the hottest celebrities in the 80s. Gender fluidity and androgyny was a big thing. Link. Copy paste, because it didn't really hyperlink. Oh yeah, Prince! The artist formerly known as Prince. The corpse formerly known as the artist formerly known as Prince. Dead. Yeah. JFK and the Mandela Effect.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's Mr. Reality, joined by psychic medium Liz Cross. How are you, Liz?
I am great. We just did another CTT group this morning. Phenomenal. And you guys should come check it out. Don't forget, we have the CTT channel as the backup. You should subscribe. It's free energy
Look in the
healing.
comments below. Don't forget to ring the bell, click yes, subscribe, like everything Liz does, because we appreciate each one of you. This is a popular request, and it could be a long one. It might be a short one. We're going to angle in a little bit of the situations. People call this the Mandela effect because it's based on maybe a
I think you're imagining that, Generty.
Remembering of Nelson Mandela's dying in prison, and yet he didn't die in prison. He got out of prison, then went on to be president. So that's the origin of the idea.
Stop looking at chat every time you say dumb stuff. What is chat there for if not to see the stupid things my audience says?
People are
You guys listen to the stupid things I say. It's all about reciprocity here.
Remembering history, and they call that a Mandela effect. So I wanted to dig into some of the popular ones that people might be misremembering, and maybe you could tell us if we're misremembering or if that really happened or if reality got jumbled up.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Right.
So
I wonder if we could
big.
first bring in
Where
Nelson
is
Mandela,
Brit? Thanks for following.
the founder,
Big J?
well, the origin statement of this effect, and ask him, is there any reality in which you did die in prison? I mean, part of your soul probably died in prison, but Tell us, did you ever die in prison in any reality?
What does that mean? If you believe there are infinite realities, yeah, I guess. It doesn't matter, though. It's just people misremembering. It's like the most famous thing about Nelson Mandela is he went to prison and survived and went on to become the president of South Africa. That's like the famous thing he did. It's just people not remembering things. Yes, she's channeling Nelson Mandela to ask him if he died in prison in another life.
Did you ever die in prison? No. No. They wanted him dead, he says. They tried to kill him, but no, he was not dead. He did not die. He refused to die.
And did he suffer a lot of trauma in prison? I mean, emotional trauma, but physical trauma, any abuse that when he was there?
Were you subjected to abuse in prison? All the time. He was beaten and he was tortured. He's showing me the water thing. I'm like, is that waterboarding? Yes. The waterboarding type of scenario. And I don't know too much about the waterboarding, but this is just what he's telling me. They would make him lie there naked with no clothes and he was cold. Sometimes they wouldn't feed him
Flower
properly.
Sheep says, I love that there's no time between her asking the questions and saying the answer. That's why I hate her. I've seen so many mediums and, self-proclaimed psychic scammers that at least try to give the veneer of, like, verisimilitude. She's not even trying. It's so bad. Yet she has an audience. Hydrate, can do.
He was dehydrated. They treated him badly. Now, I feel what I'm being told is some groups must have come in and monitored his welfare. And that's when they started to turn things around. They wanted him to die where it looks like natural causes, right? So dehydration. Well, he went on a hunger strike, or he was cold, or they were trying to kill him.
Is this psychic white by any chance? Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Yes.
What's he think about what's happening currently in South Africa?
Oh, Jesus fuck. Oh, no. Oh, this is not gonna be good, whatever she says.
What do you think about what's currently happening? He's like, it's almost as if his whole existence was irrelevant. They've turned the clock backwards instead of forwards.
What would he like to see moving ahead?
A free state that is free from corruption, this need for obscene amounts of power. He's saying South Africa has so much potential. It could be one of the biggest trading partners in the world. There's so much there. There's so much for South Africa to offer. However, it's just too steeped in corruption and politics and violence.
What does he think about his name being associated with this misremembering effect?
What do you think about that? He likes it. He likes it because it keeps his memory alive. I mean, his memory is.
There's nothing else famous he ever did to remember him by. So we gotta associate it with conspiracy bullshit. Holy fucking white people, Batman. What are we doing? Jesus Christ, white people. Please stop. I'm begging you to stop embarrassing me at every fucking turn.
Fading out. He says, they don't teach about me in schools anymore. They don't even teach history really anymore.
Just because your dumbass didn't pay attention in school doesn't mean they didn't teach it. I'm so tired.
So the fact that the Mandela effect and people actually research the origin behind it leads them down the road to understanding what he was about.
Well, thank you, Nelson Mandela. Another one is, let's see, the Berenstain Bears.
Are we gonna ask more? Are Are we gonna ask Nelson Mandela about the Berenstain Bears? Are you gonna ask... Who are you gonna ask about the Berenstain Bears? Are you gonna psychically connect with the author of the Berenstain Bears?
People are misremembering this as the Berenstain Bears, which is probably just Berenstain is a much less common appropriation of letters in that order. So I wonder if we could bring in the Berenstain authors who are...
I was joking.
That's their real name, the Berenstain authors. And did they ever publish any books, or were there any misprints where their Berenstain Bears came out on the title?
Okay, you just floored me here. It's the Bernstein Bears.
No, it's not.
When
It's
did
the
it change to that?
Liz has had a memory effect here. So yes, it's the
Liz, what are you talking about? You got the authors right there. Talk to them.
Berenstain Bears. People often confuse that with an A.
No.
This is what
No,
happens when you have that effect. When you think, am I crazy? Am I misremembering something in real time? Like, that's the situation that people have with the
You're not
Berenstain.
crazy. You're just misremembering. That happens to everyone.
So it's made by Jan Berenstain, and originally in 1982. There were a lot of books that they published in the 80s, and I think it's run by their son, Mike Berenstain, now. So were there ever any misprints? If we can bring in, I think Jan Berenstain has passed away.
Okay, yes, I have her here. Oh my God. Like, you're just...
She has her here immediately. It took 3 picoseconds for her to summon a specific ghost from the afterlife.
You've shocked me now. I have her here. Was it ever Baron Stein? The Berenstain? No, it's always AIN. What?
See, this is what happens. Your brain has this sort of disconnect process. And how does she feel about being associated, or I don't know if Jan is a male or a female. So how do they feel about being associated with this memory?
Accidentally based on the bingo card for not assuming the gender of the ghost? I guess. Hydrate will do.
It's Jan for Janice. How do you feel about being associated with? They think it's hilarious. They really do. They think it's funny. Stan and Jan were their names. Wow, I'm just in shock. Is this a glitch in the Matrix? She says no.
That's who I would ask about that.
Always wondered that. Is this a glitch in the Matrix, like for the Mandela effect? Like, is it that the Matrix going forward, it has one thing of programming and then going forward, but when you try to access...
Oh yeah, Matrix on the bingo card.
Going back into the memory, is it a glitch? She says no. It's a glitch.
Lennon Cat says you can practically hear her frantically typing away in Google.
Glitch in the brain, not the Matrix.
Let's see if we can bring in, okay, the next one. We got a few of them here. Sinbad and the Shazam movie that might be actually Kazam. So people think that Sinbad was in a movie called Shazam, and that never happened. And so I don't know if Sinbad's still alive, but was he ever in a movie called Shazam?
You mean it's called Kazam? No.
Someone has a question about I'll just read it. It says, I came to your chat, wanted to ask a trans person a question from their perspective. If I'm transphobic in your chat, I'll get banned, right? Or if I'm a small streamer, I'll get reported for hate speech, correct? Because I'm sure that's a reportable offense. Why isn't one of Twitch's biggest streamers, Asmongold or Zach, able to blatantly do it and no one is banned, like, every day? Because unfortunately, the world isn't fair. And people who make a lot of money play by different rules. If they bring in money for streaming platforms are less likely to ban them. Because unfortunately, kind of the operational principle upon which our society functions is that money talks. It sucks. Bittergrin says, the crazy channeler is debunking the Mandela effect. Not sure how I feel about this. You can feel ambivalent. That's fine. That's a lot of things in life.
So
Were
people
you
think that there was a
ever
1996 movie, Kazam, starring Shaquille O'Neal, or with a Sinbad hosted Sinbad the Sailor. So people can misremember maybe the idea of Sinbad versus Shaq.
were you ever in a movie called Shazam? No, it's Kazam. Kazam.
Who is she talking to? Both Sinbad and Shaq are alive. Who is she talking to? Does she think Sinbad's dead?
Kazam. That's so bizarre.
Chat, do you know what I'm gonna say? I own that movie on Blu-ray.
All right. The next one is C-3PO's leg. So apparently now in the Star Wars
Is that lady that channeled Trump? I think she has. I don't know if we watched her Trump video, though.
franchise, and they could edit things again. So in everyone's memory, when they saw this in 1977 originally, C-3PO was golden, and now his right leg is silver.
It was always silver, you just couldn't necessarily tell because the color recreation on VHS, which a lot of people watched the Star Wars movies originally on VHS or on television, it was less clear that the leg was silver. I have the 4K editions of Star Wars. Indeed, it is silver. It's always been silver.
And so people are like, what the? Is this, what? And so
Bittergrin says Sinbad's alive, but his career is dead, so she channeled that.
it's what
Could we ask him about its death when they filmed the last scenes of Jingle All the Way? How do they feel about that?
was C-3PO's leg ever just completely gold, or has it always been silver and we just misremembered it?
Do I have the despecialized? Yeah, I have bootleg despecialized editions around. And I was also gifted, I believe by Harold Elbelman, Laserdisc editions of the original versions that are despecialized, which are awesome.
Oh my God. Can you show me a picture? How is it silver? I don't see silver.
Right there, at the bottom, right there.
I like that she's kind of proving why it happens, because even in an HD picture, it's not the most, like, easy to see, especially in the scenes in the desert, because the silver leg is going to reflect the surroundings a bit more. So it kind of, because they're in the desert in those opening scenes, outside of when they're on the ship, gonna kind of look yellow or gold anyway.
No. All right. Was C3PO ever all gold or bronze or whatever color
Who are we asking? Who are we asking this question to?
this is? No, he's
Who says? Who says that? What?
always had the silver leg. What?
Who's
How
she
did we
talking-
misremember that?
How did-
She's talking to Sinbad.
I don't know. Well, I'm getting that it's a glitch in the brain. I can't believe that.
So it's always been silver. And yeah, we just didn't see it or just misremembered it.
It's always been, yes, it's always been silver.
Okay, the next one is
I
the
am
Looney
No.
Tunes.
I am weirdly fascinated by this, that she is doing the psychic bullshit, but is trying to say Mandela effect isn't real, which it isn't, but like, why is she choosing to say that?
Image, and apparently people remember tunes as Toons and not Tunes, like tunes for music. So was it ever Looney Tunes, Toons?
No.
Like in
Now, I
cartoon-
know this is
It's a pun!
a lie because I know it was Toons.
Okay, well,
It
what
was
do you?
never Tunes.
Well, and now apparently it's Tunes.
No. Where are you getting this from?
The internet. Who's
way.
telling us these answers? Yes.
Okay, enough of their Mandela effect. We can move on.
Crazy how oddly similar this show Severance is to the prison planet theory.
Hate. I love the show Severance. Please don't try and conspiracy theory all over it.
If you've never heard of the prison planet theory, this is your chance to swipe, because when I first started researching it a few years back, it kept me up at night. Like, I did not sleep those first couple of days because it kind of freaked me out. But basically, the fundamentals of the prison planet are this. Earth is a prison where humans are being farmed. What is being farmed is your energy, specifically your negative energy, which is called loosh. In the same way that we consume the energy of plants and animals so that we can sustain life, the prison planet theory states that there are interdimensional beings outside of us that need our energy to sustain their life. What's crazy?
Wow, this isn't a theory. This is just like ramblings of an insane person. It's not backed by anything other than, wouldn't this be crazy, bro?
Is throughout history, there are many people that believe this. You could look at Gnostic Christianity, certain
There's a lot of people who believe a lot of things. It has no bearing on whether or not it's true.
sects within Hinduism, Buddhism. What's crazier, though, is that there's modern, like, astral projectors, mediums,
Misunderstanding of Eastern philosophy and religion on the bingo card. We already had it, but again.
psychics, different people who have also confirmed that this is a prison planet. People who have had
They've confirmed it via psychic ability.
out-of-body experiences that say this is a prison planet.
The Monsterverse one into All Mankind. I haven't actually watched the Monsterverse Apple show yet.
There's a book that I read that came from the Roswell incident where basically it was this suppressed information. There were aliens that were captured. They would speak to people telepathically, and some of the things they told them was how this planet is a prison planet, that reincarnation is a trap to keep you to come back so that it can farm your loosh. The whole premise is essentially that existence is programmed to suck, because that negative energy creates loosh, and that's what they are here to farm. That's why everything seems like it's
Your subjective negative experiences and the emotional feeling you get when experiencing those is not an energy source. It's not anything anyone could do anything with. It's a subjective experience. It's not an energy.
programmed to suck for most of us. So what does it have to do with severance? Well, first and foremost, you can look at the elevator. When he descends down, his brain is severed and he turns into his innie mind, where he loses all memories of the Audi. This is reincarnation. This is descending down into this realm.
So what, he and reincarnates every day? That's not a solid metaphor.
So in the show, they're all working for Lumen Industries, which represents these kind of like controlling factions of the prison planet. One name that people have said in the past, I believe it's
They're a cult. In the show, they're a cult with a lot of supernatural weird beliefs. So actually, your beliefs are a lot closer to the cult Lumen in the show than anything else, but okay.
Gnostics, they call it the Archons, these aliens that are kind of like monitoring the prison. So Lumen Industries is this omnipresent controlling force, and it's really interesting because how they position them in this show is this like cult-like place.
You need to watch this show, you do. It's great.
They treat their rules as like scripture. They hold their founder as this holy figure. Like, it's super, super culty. Like, they position the founder like God. If you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. But the prison planet also talks about how we're given false gods to worship to keep us distracted and to trick us into reincarnating again. They have a break room where if they break some rules, they have to sit down and they have to repeat things to kind of like recondition them. This is like the soul review and karmic punishment after you die, where you learn you need to come back and you're told you need to come back, so you come back. Their work is called the numbers game. It's a complete illusion. They have this illusion of purpose, which is a huge principle in the prison planet theory. And PD's reintegration, well, that's just spiritual awakening, reconnecting with the higher self. It's kind of crazy to see the parallels. What do you think?
Watch Severance. It's a good show. Jesse, thanks for a $5 super chat. Said I was never this bad, but I'm glad you helped deprogram me in the days you were pre-camera. Well, I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Thank you very much. I'm glad that any of the things I've ever made have helped anyone in any way, even if it's just a little bit of entertainment. He hasn't seen the season 2 finale. Let's, no spoilers. No spoilers. Watch Severance. Amber says, trapped in a spiritual prison by an eldritch being who wants to feed on our misery. What is this? I saw the TV glow? Also a good movie. One of my favorite movies. Check that out. Okay, what else do we have?
So we've covered NPCs, P-zombies, hyper-reality.
Did you just say P-zombies?
So we've covered NPCs, P-zombies, hyper-reality, all topics associated with simulation theory. But we still haven't defined what the simulation actually is. Maybe because we live in a world that I believe was designed. It just feels like a simulation because it was designed by an architect that many of us call God. But within that design, there are rules. And I believe that
Halloween Town says, this July is my 10th year of being a fan. I hope this makes you feel old. It does. Pretty nice knowing that there are people who've stuck around that long, though. Thank you. I'm glad that I do something right.
there are invisible moderators, fallen angels, demons, evil spirits, things like that, who have used those rules of this design.
Jason Proxy says, it's weird that the most capitalist hellscape of a company, Amazon, makes shows that are anti-capitalist, right? Not that weird. That's actually common. That's what's to be expected. The thing about capitalism that makes it incredibly resilient is that any criticisms of capitalism can easily be capitalized upon by people with resources. So if you want to have some sort of story or something that's anti-capitalist in nature, nonetheless, if you want funds to get that into people's eyeballs, you need to go to people who are producers, who have money and usually working for large companies that represent the very thing that you're criticizing in your work. But because all of the systems and avenues of, like, getting things in front of people's eyeballs are owned by those people, they can only really be filtered by those apparatuses. Anyway.
To enslave us. Not really physically, but a spiritual and mental slavery, which seems to be much worse. Anyway, today I want to talk about something else that you may want to consider when venturing out into the world. Have you ever had moments where the world feels like it's speaking directly to you?
E-zombie, as in philosophical zombie, a thought experiment in the philosophy of mind that's physically identical to a normal human being but does not have the conscious experience. So again, NPC believes NPC stuff, which is not true and incredibly dehumanizing.
You. Maybe you keep seeing the same number over and over, like 11:11 on the clock, or randomly run into someone who gives you exactly the advice you needed to hear. I can't tell you how many times people have commented and said that a video I uploaded came
Nihilism for babies? No, way worse. Solipsism for babies.
At exactly the right time. Maybe you think about something and suddenly a stranger in the grocery store starts talking about that exact topic. But more often, it comes through the media, right? You'll see a reference to it on your social media feed, whatever that is, or it is mentioned in a movie or TV show you're watching, and you laugh and say, wow, I can't believe I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, there's a word for that. I forget what it is. Basically, you notice things that you notice, and you don't notice things that you don't notice, so it feels serendipitous, but when in reality, it's just happenstance that you happen to notice more.
Or just talking to my friend about that. Happens all the time. What is that? It happens way too often for it to be some phenomenon. You see, they are not really telling us how our world works.
They...
At first you brush it off.
Ooh, they're kicking in the ominous music. Good.
as coincidence, but over time, the
Doesn't understand what a coincidence is on the bingo card? Yes, indeed.
patterns become too obvious to ignore. It feels like reality is responding to you, right? Like some hidden force is leaving breadcrumbs,
The Bader Meinhof phenomenon. Thank you.
guiding you towards something, or maybe keeping you distracted. Maybe those freak occurrences are supposed to happen. Maybe that is part of the design, and maybe we are supposed to have the ability to manipulate the world as we see fit. Just like the concept of the one in the Matrix.
What?
But for the majority of us, this ability is dormant because we were never taught how to use it. We were never
I think these people are desperate to feel a sense of agency within their own lives. What do you think?
taught how the world is truly designed to work. This is what I call the hidden language of the simulation. Once you start questioning reality, once you step outside the script, the world starts reacting in strange ways. Suddenly you see patterns, coincidences start stacking up. The right people seem to appear at just the right time. I want to break down how synchronicities might be programmed moments rather than divine interventions. The difference between angel numbers and glitch numbers.
Angel numbers? What's an angel number and what's a glitch number?
And whether certain people in your life are actually placed there by the system to influence your path. And finally, the idea that some NPCs aren't just background characters but tests, designed to challenge you in ways you may not have realized. Because once you start seeing the patterns, once you start decoding the language of the simulation, there's no one seeing it. You might as well learn the language. Because once you're out, there's no turning back.
Black Rose says, we live in the Matrix. That's not true. Do you see me wearing any leather right now?
We've all had those moments where
Green guy with $3 says, Hannah, hypothetically, I could care less.
something happens that feels too perfect to be a coincidence.
Speaking of which, we're under $300 away from our tip goal. Woo! Which is a 6-hour-long 420 stream on 420. Where I'm gonna have to take a vape hit every time we get a bingo card hit. That'll be fun. Or horrifying.
You're thinking about an old friend, and out of nowhere, they call you.
Magos Informaticus says, feels like this is going to be so damaging to someone with schizophrenia predispositions at the wrong time. Oh, there's a ton of conspiracy content that I would describe as basically specifically targeting people with schizophrenia or other paranoid delusions. Incredibly sad. It's all narratives that are almost designed specifically to latch on to the paranoid delusions of people and then self-preserve those delusions. It sucks.
You keep hearing the same word or phrases in conversations, movies, books. Right when you
Freyline says, I've said freshman philosophy a couple of times, but I think maybe more literal than my joke. I think a lot of these people get exposed to basic philosophy for the first time. Something clicks, and they just never move past this. All people, when they're first exposed to philosophy, kind of go through that holy shit, I just discovered something phase. But most move deeper into philosophy and move on. Yeah. Like they're stuck at Plato's cave allegory, and they just can't get past the idea that, oh my god, how do I ever trust any of my own senses? How do I ever trust my own... Yeah. Green Guy says 6 hours, do normal bingo, then blackout. I think that sounds good. I will do that.
You need to hear it. Or maybe
On April 20th.
Maybe you randomly meet someone who gives you exactly the information you were searching for. At first, these moments feel magical, like a higher power is guiding you, right? But what if that is the way this world was intended to work as part of the design? What if
Darth Gently, thanks for becoming a member on YouTube. Much appreciated. Remember, tomorrow we're doing a YouTube member and paid patron only live stream. We're going to be watching Project Metal Beast. So if you want to be a part of that, consider becoming a member on YouTube or joining the Patreon.
it is just an included feature of living in this reality? So what people call coincidences, let's call them synchronicities that aren't random at all. What if they are pre-coded triggers inside the simulation, designed to activate when a player reaches?
Baja, I think I've told them once they roll their card, they can do one re-roll, but it has to be before they actually, like, start placing any tokens. It's basically, you can, if you click on it and go, oh, this is a shit card, you could re-up it once, but if you're already in the middle of bingo, I'd prefer if you kept the same card.
A certain level of awareness. Think of a video game. Some encounters are scripted. You walk into a certain area and suddenly an NPC appears with
Life is not a video game. It wasn't programmed. I'm telling you, everyone around you is a real person. Please stop.
crucial information. What if reality works the same way? Where in the world did that person come from?
They have a life all their own. They have a history going all the way back to their birth. They are a full person, just like you.
Start waking up when you start to question the nature of reality. The system might respond by activating certain encounters, making sure you meet specific people, see certain signs, or experience just enough magic to keep you on a particular path. And that actually is what leads people to practice magic. But here's the dangerous part. Not all paths lead to freedom. If synchronicities aren't signs from the universe at all, but part of the simulation's control system,
maybe it's just you noticing patterns where none actually exist, because that's kind of what our brains are wired for.
you keep the players engaged, not free. They're breadcrumbs, keeping you chasing after the next message, making sure you stay invested. But if you ignore them, if you refuse to react, do they disappear? Or does the system escalate, sending more dramatic synchronicities to pull you back in? Now, numbers are one of the most
Enough of him. What else?
Try again. I hope we're not going to have another yesterday.
Black Rose says, if you disassociate, life definitely can feel like a simulation. Obviously, it's not true, but a person with that state of mind may not be able to tell. I'm very aware.
That was painful. Anyway, we shall see. Alrighty. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Shorio.
I wasn't trying to be glib there, by the way. I just relate to that. I've had delusional shit in my past. I know. Derealization is no joke, kids.
Where are we? There we are. I've got to find you. My devices. See me moving.
I don't think we hear from Zmoo today. I think it's just her.
Hello, hello. The right. So, time to jump on and try and see if the internet connection will be stable enough to do something today. Because I'm bored, stupid. And I hurt my knee last night, so I can barely walk.
Harry, why don't you get into a med bed? You're the one scamming and telling people you have access to med beds and you're allegedly taking money for it. So why does your knee hurt, guy? Why does your knee hurt?
Not great when you got new horses have arrived and arriving.
Oh yeah, she has a new horse. So if you're worried if she's hard up for cash, don't worry. She just bought a horse.
Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. So we should. My knee does hurt. Yes. Anyway, so does anyone have any gossip? Because I don't.
I hear there's a shitty lady on the internet that scams money from people by telling them she has access to med beds from aliens. Is that a good rumor?
I don't know. I don't know any gossip. And sex to my knee. Let's just sit with love and light for a second. According to the Pleiadians, love is procreation and light is information. So you're sending sex and knowledge to my knee.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you. I think. Yeah, many people don't understand what
Lennon Cat says AI will never put her out of the job. Very true.
love and light.
Did I die of laughter? No, that's not it.
The term love and light actually means. Sex or procreation and information. So you're sending sex and knowledge to my knee. I don't know what my knee can do with that, but I'm sure my knee will take it. So thank you. Oh dear. Oh my, I don't roll that way. I didn't think so. Just be aware that when you send someone love and light, you think it's, oh, just from my heart to yours. That's not what the term means. It doesn't mean just sending like light and love. It means you're sending them procreation and knowledge. Many people don't know that because spirituality has corrupted a lot of the original terms and turned them into something they're not. That's why I refuse to consider myself spiritual, because it's fake. Is bypassing the actual issues. It's just sticking a band-aid on, smiling and pretending everything's perfect. Oh, look at that. Oh, just see love and light, and oh, everything's perfect. And yes, just put on a smiley face and think positive. Mm-mm. No, that's the difference between consciousness and spirituality. Spirituality will always remain in a box, just like religion. Consciousness, you deal with your dramas, you deal with everything.
King of
You,
Castle, thanks for following.
Yeah, you face the fears, you face the darkness. You bring the darkness into your very being and heal it. You don't put a band-aid on it and go, oh, think positive, love and light. Yep, And just a bit of knowledge for you. Okay. All right, let me go back to the beginning. Okay. I'm not doing any readings today. I know yesterday's video we tried to do some readings and my internet just had a massive, massive toddler tantrum. He's not a happy dog. He's an old dog. I hate hearing him cry. It's just like, what can I do? What can I do? And then I realize I
We're just gonna skip through and see if Smoo shows up. I
can
doubt
free,
it, but
moving into 17 hands. I thought she was only 6, 7. This is basically what I in America. No, I haven't communicated with any galactics. Not substantially, not in, enough time to ask questions for the last couple of weeks. Smoo did come this morning when my mum called for him and he said, I'm working, I'm so busy. Hi.
man, he's the hardest working 10-year-old in the galaxy, I'll tell you that, Smoo.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. My guides at the moment are the non-physical beings. They are the closest to pure source that you can get, and apparently that's my original form. It's hard to explain. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. So you've got source, which is creation itself. Then when a part of consciousness kind of separates itself, you never separate. But just for this conversation, you can imagine like separating from source. You've got the non-physical beings, and then those non-physical beings then can also go down into physical if they choose, but they are an actual. To confirm this with the non-physical, and that's what. And
No Smoo, no view. I really hope she brings back Smoo. Alright. I think we're done for the day. Thank you everyone so much for doing some weekend tinfoil with me. I always have fun hanging out with you guys and watching just weird stuff. I really enjoy it. So, like I said, tomorrow we will be doing a YouTube member and patron only live show. We'll be doing a normal stream too earlier in the day, and then after that we're gonna do watching that movie, so it should be fun. Monday I will be taking off, as it is Monday. I have electrolysis and it's also the 1st of the month. That works out. Yeah, that's it. Let's see.
Which again,
What kind of stream tomorrow? I'm not actually sure yet. I haven't decided. Do you have any recommendations, chat? Does anyone have any what I should do for stream tomorrow before we do the raid? Hurry, you only have like 5 seconds to tell me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jay's a proxy said courtroom. Feistiest Bard said puppet. Another person said courtroom. Another courtroom. You know what? That might be fun. Maybe we'll do a courtroom thing. It won't be like sovereign citizen stuff, but other courtroom videos. We'll do that tomorrow. So maybe take that into account when you vote for the costume on Discord. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow for some courtroom videos, and then we'll do the Patreon and YouTube member stream. Bye, everyone.